Jake, and coming to you today from P.R.A's Next Chapter Cafe. And we're located in Portage, Indiana, probably about half hour southeast of Chicago. On a good day, you can get to the city in about 20 minutes from here. And the concept of today is that we're here to introduce with my friend Colten.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Colten. I got 8 months of recovery.
Oh yeah, and I got 10 and a half years of recovery. Both members of the recovering community, strong supporter of anybody that has the desire and willingness to find a new way of life. We always want to be here, and the objective today is to get rolling with this concept we have called the Portage Recovery Podcast. And what that is we're going to be monthly coming right here from the cafe, hopefully in front of a studio audience bigger than today, but today we got a good start.
We have a live audience, actually.
Live audience today, man. How about it, guys, huh?
Yep.
Let's go! And we got some exciting things planned. You know, there's a lot of people that I feel in my life that their message is so strong about hope and recovery and live by spiritual principles. And I think that their voice needs to be heard nationwide. And Colten has a lot of experience in the podcasting world, and I'm so grateful to be able to be partners with him on this great project.
Yeah, actually, I used to podcast, and before my recovery, I used to podcast about drinking beer. So, so now that I'm in recovery and stuff, that whole tide has shifted, and I'm using it for better now. So hopefully it will come out great. We're going to have more and more setup coming. We're planning out a whole seating area, a section. We're going to put stuff up on this TV that's blank right now. Different things and stuff like that. Probably do activities, like he said, have a live audience as well, which is going to be really cool. We'll get an audience camera out there. We'll get a couple angles on us. And we'll get some really great interviews with some people with some real long-term recovery, ranging from people my age, 25, to Jake's age, being
almost 40.
Almost 40.
Not yet.
Not yet. He's not, he ain't there yet. But and then all the way up to people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, hell, even in their 80s. So it should be pretty awesome. Like he said, monthly, and yeah, I'm excited for it. A lot of coffee's gonna get drank.
I think be probably smart to do a little background on the situation and why we're here. And I'm been president of the Portage Recovery Association for the last 6.5 years. When I came into recovery, I was 28 years old. There was a larger generation, older generation is the way I want to say it. And I thought, man, when we come into recovery, one of the things we're taught is, to avoid people, places, and things. We can't go to the same places. We shouldn't hang out with the same people. It's best, even our closest family members, we should take breaks from to ensure that we learn this new way of life, which is the most important thing. And I was so grateful for that I had a lot of guys with a lot of time and a lot of experience in this thing that have seen guys like me come in my 20s. And I'm grateful that I was willing to listen. I was at a point in my life where I wanted some change. And the concept of more became important to me. I always wanted to do more things. Now that I can't hang out with these people, what do I do with my life? You know what I mean? So we started shooting pool at the pool hall. We started going to the bowling alley. We would go to movies, go out to eat, drink coffee. And I still wanted more. So after some time and some discussions with the Portage Recovery Association, we've expanded the events from when I kind of came into the program. We were doing one event a year, and it was so much fun, and we had such a great time at the club picnic. And I thought, man, what about game night? What about movie night? What about shooting pool? What about watching the fights? And the idea just blossomed. There was hundreds of people that were thinking the same thing I was. We put together a great team over the last few years to grow the organization to a point now where we have almost 15 events per year. And with that, community awareness. And in September, we opened up where we're at right now, which is the Next Chapter Cafe. It's a soul bar concept. And I'm always thinking of ways that I got lost.
That's fine.
Yeah, I always think of ways to expand and spread the message of hope and spread the message of recovery. We have great community backing right now, and the community was able to award us with this addition to our facility. And
I'll show you guys. I'll implement a couple pictures while he's talking about it of what the cafe actually is, and then you guys will get a better perspective on the idea behind it.
Mm-hmm. My thought process was, I really want to get to a place in this city that there's a 24-hour place for anybody that's seeking recovery can go to, whether that's someone that's inflected with alcohol, addiction, gambling, smoking, even
Mental health.
mental health. Of course, it's Men's Mental Health Month here where we're sitting. It's Veterans Day was yesterday, actually, too. So
Veterans Day is today.
Veterans Day is today.
It is today, actually.
Shout out to all the veterans out there, and thank you. And lost.
Well, what he was talking about with like the all right, where were we at? We were at talking about the cafe.
Cafe.
All right. The cafe is going to be a really cool addition, I think, to the P.R.P. I only came to the Portage Recovery Association, like I said, 8 months ago, and ever since I came, like he came in at 28, I came in at 24, and I found a lot of the older guys, and you know they were doing it, and they shared their stories and everything. And I will say, I didn't find a lot of youth right away,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in recovery, especially at my age, 24 years old. So. You know, but at the same time, I'm glad I didn't. I feel like the older guys know what's up. They've been through it a little more.
Yeah.
Built the foundation.
Build a foundation.
You know, they might have already relapsed a couple of times. They might have already lost their shit and then gained it back. You know, and can tell you stories about that. We have great speakers that I've listened to because of this place, and I couldn't be more thankful. So.
Yeah. And we don't want this to be sitting around talking about the old timers. We want to use some of the old timers, the longer recovery members, to share their experience. And Colton and I were talking earlier today about the concept behind this. We've been planning it for a couple months and discussions and working out the kinks and the fine tuning. But the main reason behind it, and I'd like to get into that, is that there was a very dear friend of mine that passed away in February 2022. And he always, when I would speak of people that had passed away in recovery, he would always tell me how important it was to share their name. He'd be like, well, Jake, who are you speaking of? Coffee? He would be like, Jake, who are you speaking of? Who are you talking about? And I'd say, well, this quote came from a friend of mine. And he would always say, like, Jake, I need you to say their name so everybody knows who they are. So I would say the person's name that had passed on and something that they had shared with me. So I will share his name with everybody. And his name was Marlon Popovich. And I thought Marlon, to me, was somebody that was such a trusted confidant. I felt that he always told me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. He was always someone that listened well and listened and then gave his suggestion. He just meant a lot to me. And one of my darkest days of recovery, I had lost a dear friend of mine, and he had told me, Jake, the reason why it hurts so much is because the fellowship has given you the ability to love your fellow man without expecting anything back from them. And it was really cool to hear that. I've shared it over and over and over since then, because that's what recovery has given me. It's like this new way of life where I can come here, I can listen, and then I can start applying the things that I've learned through this process in my everyday life. And because of it, I haven't had a drink in a long time. But Marlon, and we were just talking earlier how crazy it is that we're filming today, because today would have been his sobriety date, which is really awesome. And I think he passed at mid-20. I think he had 26, 27 years of recovery. And I don't want to misquote it, so I don't want to say exactly, but he always went with Veterans Day as his recovery day. And I thought that was really cool. And he always told me, he's like, I don't know what day it was. It was such a blur. He's like, but I just picked Veterans Day, and he was a veteran of the military too, so it just was really cool. And he's dearly missed. And a few other things about Marlon, man, we always kind of called him the Godfather. He had a stroke years ago, and his voice was impaired. He had these scars on his neck, and so he kind of talked like this. And even at my mom's funeral, my brother was like, "Who is that dude? Is that guy in the mafia?" I'm like, "Nah, that's Marlon, dude. He's cool."
Shows up, got a button up,
yeah,
top
dude,
buttons undone.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He
Collar
had,
puffed out a little bit.
Yep. I was like, "Nah, he's just cool as the other side of the pillow." And he's like, "Dude, looks like he's in the mafia." And I'm like, "No, he's with us, And, but he's so dearly missed, and I often think, man, I have pictures of him, that's, and I have a million memories of the guy, man, but I wish I had something where I can hear his message, because his message was so powerful and so strong. And I think that's where the concept came from a couple of years ago. And Colton has so much experience in the podcasting world, and also being a member of recovery. I think it's like a perfect partnership. I'm so grateful for you.
I'm just happy to be able to contribute something to the Portage Recovery Association, to recovery itself.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I got sober, like I said, I was doing the filming and stuff before. Once I got sober, you learn about doing what I would call community work, charity, chipping in to your fellow men and everything in recovery, men and women. And the first thing I said to Heather was, you know what, I feel like starting some sort of podcast about it. But I didn't know what way to go about it because I was so early in recovery. So for someone early in recovery like me, doesn't even have a year yet, I'm not going to get on and just share my voice and my opinion alone because that ain't nothing yet. You know what I mean? Other than that I'm a young 25-year-old who's in it. That's it. So once Jake came to me and had the, I remember it. We were standing outside. I walked up to the cafe and then he started talking about the podcast and I think we stood there and we talked for an hour almost. Heather hated it. Yeah. It was on a fight night. And
that was the fights, yeah.
It blossomed right there, He talked about it. I said, I would love to do that, We talked about hosting and everything. Jake is going to be our main host. I think he is in the perfect chair to do so and everything. And this is his baby as well. And then I'm gonna get everything looking good and co-host it. And I think we're gonna do great. I'm hoping to have an interview next month. We don't have one lined up yet, I don't think, but hopefully we will. Mm-hmm. And if not, it'll just be me and Jake. Maybe I'll interview him for the first one, or he can interview me for the first one, and we'll get it rolling. But I just think it's going to be so awesome to spread the word of all these people. Mm-hmm. So, and I think everyone's going to appreciate it. Even people aren't not even in recovery, so, or in recovery.
And so I think for me, officially the goal is on the record is I want to record people's stories. I want to record their message, and I want to share it with the world. And of course, anybody that comes on the show absolutely is going to know what the idea is and what the concept is. We don't want to be disrespectful to anybody's anonymity. No one's going to be paid for this either.
You don't have to come on. Mm-hmm. You can get the idea of it, and if you feel like you want to spread the word out to people in recovery, then we're more than happy to help spread that word that you got.
Yeah, we want to be that vessel. Is that the right word?
Yeah, kind of.
Vessel. We're a vessel. What do you think of that?
You want to use us to help get your message out? That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So we'll be drinking coffee and bullshitting and having fun. We got a pool table in here. I'm thinking about setting up the cameras and us having some pool nights maybe on the thing. We can, we know a couple guys that play pool that are in recovery, and hey, you want to shoot some pool and do an interview? We got that option. So I'm really excited for all this. Like I said, this is just an introduction video. I will say, like he said, he's got 10 years. I got 8 months. That's really it. We're not going to interview each other today, but it's coming. So
it's coming. Portage Recovery Podcast, and of course, as we were saying, P.R.P.
Yeah,
everything's going to be out there. You'll see it. You'll be able to find out how to follow us. We're going to get all that working. Obviously, when you're seeing this, it'll be done. So
yes.
We're grateful. If anybody's interested in our organization, PortageRecoveryAssociation.org is our website, or you can follow us on Facebook, PRA. Just type in Portage Recovery Association or PRA / I don't know how it is.
It'll pop up.
We'll find it. That's where he comes into play, and you're never alone. That's the one thing I want to leave with people is that you're not alone. If you're out there and you're hearing this and you're struggling, you're not alone. We're not the only game in town or organization. There's a million different ways to find recovery. Hope is there. We want to ensure that hope is shared.
Yeah.
I think too.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, it's Ben's Mental Health Month. I know this isn't a mental health podcast, but it is at the same time because it's recovery. And you know what comes with recovery? Battling mental battles. I mean, it comes in with everything. So, make sure you're talking to somebody. If you're not, make sure you're venting in some way. I like to paint. I like to record and edit. So I do it. And stick to your goals and dreams, baby, because you're going to achieve them. And that's what we're here to do. Other than that, I think we're signing off.
Hell yeah,
that was awesome. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Always remember to like and subscribe and go follow them on the links. They'll be posted right down here below. And then hope to see you guys on the next one.
Oh yeah, keep coming back.